there will be spoilers in this video, so you have been warned.
Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
When I tell you I hate trilogies, they almost are never good. From Scream 3, Spy Kids 3, The Mummy 3, Spider-Man 3, The Godfather 3, the list goes on. There are some good ones like Friday After Next, How to Train Your Dragon 3, but more often than not, the third installment is usually trash. The first movie is obviously the original, the sequel is a follow-up with a spin, and the third film calls back to the first movie. And there lies the major problem with Bad Boys for Life. It's a big nostalgia feature that adds on things that could have been left out. The filmmakers played into Martin's comedy more in the latter two films, which is fine, but it also tarnished his character's ability to hold his own without Will Smith. It doesn't make it any better that Will Smith is also a producer on Bad Boys for Life, so naturally he'll make his character the center of attention, while Martin will be the sidekick with no story of his own. In the first movie, Marcus is courageous, persuasive, and strategic. By the time the second movie comes around, he acts more cowardly and passive. His journey was to travel a non-violent path and protect his sister. Although Marcus matures through the trilogy, Bad Boy 3 keys in on the cowardness aspect of Marcus. The continuous screaming in fear whenever Mike does something.
Mike! Get down! Mike!
Marcus is no longer a dominant figure in this franchise, and this movie helps solidify that. He went from fighting two guys in the bathroom, handling his business, to getting the shit beat out of him by a Mexican voodoo lady. Yes, he gained maturity, but he had to give up his bravery, confidence, and ability to fight. He doesn't even willingly participate in any of the action in Bad Boys for Life. He's either not a part of it or he must be persuaded. The final battle is when he participates in the war on his own accord. Mike doesn't have to convince him to do anything. The worst thing you can do is make an action movie where one of the main characters don't want to get in on the action.
I will put no more violence in this world.
Mike is running down on ex-criminals and informants by himself, instead of with Marcus. Their unhinged chemistry isn't really prevalent in this movie because Mike is soaking up all the screen time without Marcus. They used to fake arguments and schemes to get information or get out of dangerous situations.
You want some bad enough, then you come get some. Hey, freeze, bitch! You freeze, bitch!
The wittiness of the two is minimized in Bad Boys for Life. Marcus isn't even around when Cap dies. Only Mike. The three of them have been through thick and thin, yet only Mike has to experience that trauma, leaving Marcus out of one of the most heartbreaking scenes in the entire franchise.
He said if I went out there, I was gonna get somebody killed.
The addition of Team Ammo really did this movie in. They're sticking with the team acronyms from Bad Boys 2.
TNT, Tactical Narcotic Team.
What's ammo?
Advanced Miami Metro Operations.
Ammo consists of Mike's old new flame, a sensitive linebacker, a fangirl, and a guy who thinks he's hot shit. This is where the young versus old semi-rivalry takes place. Mike wants to do things the old-fashioned way, which in my opinion is better and more entertaining, while they want to do things the new and improved way, which makes it less entertaining and simple. I'm not going to say Ammo's contribution was useless, but I would rather see Mike and Marcus run down on informants, investigate crime scenes, chase suspects, and get in the shootouts together. We came to a Bad Boys movie, not another team-up flick with the new cast members coming to save the day. This scene here really pissed me off. Marcus gets slapped around and Mike doesn't get to run his fade because guess who comes in and spoils the fun? Just let Marcus and Mike do what we came to see them do. Now, the bad guys. They suck. Isabel is a widow of a Mexican cartel leader who Mike seduced when he was undercover way back when. Unbeknownst to Mike, he and Isabel had a son who turns out to be this walking cotton swab named Armando. They're out for revenge on Mike and his team who sent Isabel to prison and murdered her husband. Isabel is the brains, Armando is the muscle. Cool, we're all caught up. Isabel doesn't do much other than tell her son what to do and remind him that his father is dead because of Mike. She got her hands dirty twice, but other than that, She's like Charlie and he's like Charlie's Angels. Armando, on the other hand, is the one we're going to talk about. First off, he doesn't look menacing at all. If he were to point a gun at me, I wouldn't fear for my life. As the audience member, we're supposed to fear the antagonist. The film shows his combat skills as a means to demonstrating his abilities, but turns around and makes him a sniper throughout the movie. Not to mention, a sniper whose killing spree theme music is by the City Girls. How the hell are we supposed to take him serious when he's killing folks to twerking music? Everything was up close and personal when it came to Fouché and Johnny Tapia. Every person that was killed by them or their crew knew who did it. They weren't hiding in a building 10 blocks away shooting people. When Fouché kidnapped Julie, he rolled up to Mike's crib, 3 deep, bare face, ready for war, with a smile on his face because he was with the shits. When Johnny kidnapped Sid, he called Marcus to let him know it's smoke in the air, and he's gonna have to come clear it. He didn't call his damn mama. Armando didn't leave the impression of a true killer with ambition and a bigger purpose. This fool also formed the crew just to not use them the entire movie. Basically, this scene was just to show him killing 5 people by hand. Not one person in this room helped him pull a trigger. We don't see half these motherfuckers after this scene, except for Nicky Jam, but then he kills him on a helicopter, so his role served no purpose other than being another famous cameo in the movie next to DJ Khaled. Side note, I don't care if his mom lied to him his whole life. He shouldn't have been siding with the opposition, especially after they killed her. I would have pushed Mike and Marcus in that damn fire.
Hurry! I can feel my ass cooking!
So Bad Boys for Life doesn't do itself any favors with this plot. You can clearly tell it was constructed around Mike's character. So much that the filmmakers were so focused on giving Mike a sentimental and overarching story that the timeline of this film doesn't line up with the others. In this installment, Mike is said to be Armando's father. Armando is 24 years old during this time. The film shows his birth year being 1996. The film also makes sure to tell us that Mike and Marcus have been partners for the last 24 or so years. They mention it a few times to be sure that we know it. So when Mike explains how Armando is his son, he says that before they were partners, he got recruited to go undercover, fresh out of the police academy. Now let's go back in time. The first Bad Boys movie came out in 1995. And in this scene when Marcus and Mike are tussling in the pool, Mike says,
I've been your partner for 6 years, but I've been your boy all my life.
This means that they have been partners since 1989. Which would be 30 years at the time of the release of Bad Boys for Life. Not to mention, they also went to the police academy together. So how can someone you've known all your life not know you were undercover in Mexico even after you finish your assignment? To follow up on that, Isabel had her son in prison, meaning that she was pregnant beforehand in 1995. If Bad Boys came out in 1995, and the movie says Mike and Marcus have been partners for 6 years prior to that and 24 years after, how the hell did Mike end up in Mexico undercover conceiving Armando in the same year? The timeline just don't add up.
Put your glasses on!
The nostalgia was hit or miss. The hits being the reemergence of Reggie and Marcus fucking up Mike's cars. The misses were the one-liners.
We're dangerous people.
Compared to,
Next time, learn how to work the safety with your punk ass.
they just fell flat in delivery and impact. But the biggest miss of all was the infamous pose. This pose is iconic because the stakes were higher when we were introduced to it in 1995. They were just on a chase that resulted in Julie being kidnapped. Now they have to find Julie and the drugs stolen from their precinct before time runs out. If they don't, then Julie dies and their department will be shut down. The severity of the situation makes this pose much more meaningful. In the third movie, there were no stakes. Mike had just fought Armando, Marcus got kicked to the ground, and then Armando drove away. There was nothing important that happened to warrant that pose. It just falls flat with no real context behind it, other than nostalgia.
You wrap that shit up, man.
They recently announced the production of the fourth movie, so hopefully they clean up on some of these issues. Will Smith is one of my favorite actors, and Martin is in my top 5 when it comes to overall comedy. It was great seeing Martin back on the big screen. Hopefully in Bad Boys 4, they let him improvise more, so I'm hoping for the best in this fourth movie. Also, why would they name Bad Boys 3 Bad Boys for Life when they were going to make a Bad Boys 4? Why wouldn't they name the fourth one Bad Boys for Life? It just doesn't make sense. But let me know what you think in the comments section about Bad Boys for Life. Which movie in the franchise is your favorite? Do you agree with me, or do you think I don't know what I'm talking about? Let me know in the comments. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell on your way out. Y'all be easy.
Stop it. It's calling me, Mike.
What? Yo,
I can't help it, but it's calling me.
Stop it. Stop. What the hell is wrong with you?